Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Sanjaya Uvacha Tan Tatha Krupaya Vishtam Ashrupurna Kulekshanam Vishidantamidam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudanaha. Dear friends, I welcome you all. In particular, students of the first and third Sunday class, to the study of Gita Sara in these two classes, this class and the next class. You may wonder, what about 10:25? I will come to it. Have patience, I will come to it later. Today you are all welcome to study Gita Sara. Last time I gave an introduction to Gita Sara. I don't remember how much I covered or whatever I said. So maybe I end up saying the same things again, at least to some extent. So please bear with me. Gita Sara is the compilation of select verses from Bhagavad Gita by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. And it has 40 plus verses. And the first verse is what we have just now said in Gita Sara. I like this first and third Sunday classes for one reason. That is, here I don't have a goal post to run and touch. See the beauty of it. There is a important beauty in that, because Vedanta is a journey without a goal. Did you ever pay attention to that? Because people, they know only journey with a goal. Always people undertake a journey to reach a goal. There is one journey in life in which there is no goal. In other words, the journey itself becomes the goal. And that is the study of Vedanta. Many people don't study Vedanta like that. They study Vedanta to reach a goal. And therefore, Vedanta becomes a kind of a distortion. Here, there is no goal that you should understand, because goal implies time. Goal implies journey in time. And the real is timeless. Therefore, when you undertake a journey in time, a journey to reach a goal, that goal is not the real, because the goal is in time. After a certain travel, certain distance is travelled, in certain time you reach the goal post, which is in time, and hence it is not the goal which is called Brahman or the real. Therefore, in Vedanta it is a journey without a goal. And first and third Sunday classes fit into that bill very well. I love these two classes. Everywhere else I am running to catch the end, to touch the goal post, but not here. You see the freedom in which I am enjoying? Don't you see that? So, because Vedanta is athato brahma jijñāsa. It is not athato brahma jnanam. It is not atha shabda anushasanam, that is a goal. Atha yoga anushasanam, again a goal. Not here. Atha brahma jnanam, no. If it is atha brahma jnanam, then it will be a goal. Athato brahma jnanam, that will be a goal. But it is not athato brahma jnanam, it is athato brahma jijñāsa. Therefore, we keep the verses of Gita before us and examine those verses and internalize the message and try to understand what is going on in our consciousness. That is the journey. And what can be the goal in that journey? There is no goal. So, in Gita Sara, we find this verse, the first verse of the second chapter, as the first verse in the Gita Sara. And the person who says these words is Sanjaya Uvacha, Sanjayaha. I might have said Sanjaya, there are only 4 characters, I must have said that, good. That part I have said. And now, let us look at this verse. But before looking at this verse, I want to mention a few points made by Shankara as an introduction. So Shankara introduces Gita. I have introduced Gita to you earlier, but not Shankara's introduction. Now all of that I am not introducing, just a few salient points. He says, Tadidam Gita Shastram. This is the time to know how Shankaracharya looks at Bhagavad Gita. He looks at it as Shastram. That is the word he uses, Shastra. Shastra can be translated as a scripture, but then it's a good translation, but it means something very special. Shasanat Shastram, Shamsanat Shastram. There are 2 kinds of Shastra. The Shastra, the scripture, which is in the form of do this, don't do that. Do's and don'ts. That is the 10 commandments. You know, we have 10 commandments in Judaism and also in ancient Christianity. So in the Old Testament we have the 10 commandments as received by Moses from God. If you go through the commandments, some of them are do's, do this, do that, do this, do that. And quite a few within the 10, don't do this, don't do that. Even the tone is very authoritative and quite often threatening. Hey, don't. Suppose if I do, what happens? Hell. So that is the tone. Not only 10 commandments are like that, we have corresponding Dharma Shastra. That is also a Shastra, Dharma Shastra. There also the tone is very explicit in threatening. Don't do. If you do, you will be condemned to hell. And in the hell, there will be trees. In the hell also trees will be there. But those trees have leaves made up of swords and knives. How is that? Asipatravanam. The forest in which the trees have leaves, patra, which are nothing but swords and knives. So that means you are pushed into that forest. Then when you move around, these leaves will cut your body to pieces because they are not normal leaves. They are swords designed or presented as leaves, the threat. So, do you do this way, or you will go to Asipatravana? What do you choose now? You don't like the Asipatravana, therefore better you do it and be done with it. So this is the kind of Shastra. A little digression, coming back to the point, Gita is not that kind of a Shastra, you should know that. Then what kind of a Shastra it is? Shamsanat Shastram, not Shasanat Shastram, Shamsanat Shastram. This is called Nirukta. Don't look for Vyakarana. Whenever the Panchami Vibhakti comes, it is Niruktam. So, it tells you about yourself, about life, about the so-called God. People say God, not knowing what it is. That's why he said so-called. So, These things, a few things, important things in life that one should know, they are mentioned here in this scripture. That's why it is Shamsanam is mentioning, saying. And so, because of that, it is called Shastram. Therefore, Shas becomes Shastram in one context. Shams becomes Shastram in another context, like in this context. That is what Shankara means, Tadidam Gita Shastram. And also he says, this part I have not covered, I suppose. Right? This part I have not covered, this introduction of Shankara. He also says, Samasta Vedartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam. So Vedas are there. People say Vedas, Veda, Veda, like that they say. Quite often they refer to Veda. But nobody seems to know what is in the Vedas. So Vedas are very huge texts, endless literature, and then there are all kinds of rituals in Vedas. So we don't even know the names of those rituals. Even names we don't know. So the rituals that are being performed in the present society, in the present day Hindu society, they are not from Veda. They came from later texts like Smrutis and Puranas and Tantra. Agama, Tantra called Agamas, Shaivagama, Vaishnavagama. So from those texts, which are very later day texts, are Vachina, not Prachina. So from those texts, some of the rituals are presented and people follow them. They simply say Veda. So in Veda, the rituals are very complex, certainly not in our knowledge, and we are not familiar with those, even the names are not familiar for us. So that is what Veda is, a lot of rituals. And then a lot of mental worships also. Those mental worships are very rare. In the popular mind, they are not there. In the popular religion, those worships are not there. Some other worships that originated from the Puranas, etc., they occupy the popular mind. So not from the Vedas. Then there are Upanishads. People are familiar with the Upanishads. Thank God, at least a small part you are familiar with. So Upanishads, Brahma, etc., you are all students of Vedanta. Maybe you might have studied already a couple of Upanishads. So that is the Veda. Karma, Upasana and Jnanam. What is the essence of all that? Vedartha Sara. The literature, that is the Veda, Artha, its meaning, and then the essence of all of that. So we have to understand that. Then there are 4 Vedas, not one. Samasta is 4. 4 Vedas, they have a lot of literature as part of the Vedas, and that literature has many sections, karma, upasana, jnana, etc. And all of that, you make a distillation. You know what is distillation? You distill all of that, and then you get Sara. And you do a double distillation. Again you distill. Because even the Sara is so much. Therefore you do a double distillation. Then you get Sangraha, that is Gita. Samasta Vedartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam. And then Ramana Maharshi has done the triple distillation and arrived at Gita Sara. And in that you are looking at the first verse. Don't worry about 1025. I already told you I will come to it. Okay? Before I disappear, I will come to it. Therefore, that is the Samasta Vedartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam. Then Shankara says Durvijneyartham. The message of the Gita is tough to understand. That is what he says. But then Gita is very popular. Everybody talks about Gita. Everybody writes books about Gita also. You name a sect, there is a guru in that sect who made a book on the Gita. You name a sect, this is inevitable. Hare Krishna people, they have Gita book. Then there is a Gita book from another sect, another group, another tradition. Like that, there are thousands of commentaries on Gita, right? You know that? In Nellore, there used to be a Mahatma. I knew him very personally. He is no more. He worked on a library, got hold of a building and started collecting books for that library. The books are on Gita. That is the Gita library. So all commentaries on Gita he started collecting. Whatever commentary is available, he gets hold of it and puts in that library. His goal was, it's an interesting goal, his goal was to get all available commentaries of Gita in all languages of all countries and put there. And I used to tell him, if you do that, anybody who goes inside comes out more confused than ever. But anyway, he was a kind of an idealistic about it. And he did to some extent he did it. But in the meanwhile, Bhagavan has other thoughts, and so he left the mortal frame. And so the library must be there still around. Therefore, Gita is extensively commented upon by every sect of India and cult of India, all kinds of religious people within the Hindu fold, and also outside Hindu fold also have commented. Gita is translated into dozens of languages. It is said that after Bible, the one book which is printed the maximum number of copies after Bible is Gita. So it has a status of its own, very popular. Having said that, I have to say, it is the least understood, the most popular and the least understood. It is possible that way. So popularity is not understanding. In fact, quite often, popularity is the absence of understanding. That is how. Understanding is not a popular thing. Only ignorance is popular. Ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. So, the reason is, what is the reason? Durvijneyartham. The message of the Gita is indeed tough to grasp. Tough, not impossible. Dur is tough, not impossible. You can grasp it, but you have to overcome so much of dross or the dust of centuries that has settled over the Gita. All the dust you have to overcome and arrive at the message. That is what Shankara is saying. In his time, that was the situation. And he explains himself, Tadarthavishkaranaya anekaihi vivruta pada padartha vakya vakyartha nyayamapi. To bring out the message of the Gita, many people, anekaihi, many, Shankara says, now from Shankara's time till yesterday or till today, how many more commentaries might have come? So, many people took it upon themselves to explain. What? Pada, the words of Gita. They explain the words, this word, how it came, what is the etymology, how grammatically, how you derive it. Like that they do it. Go on doing it. And some of it is popular in recent times also. Like people say, grammar through Gita. Tam, that is the first verse, you know, tam tautan, tachabdaha, dakaranta pumlingaha, dvitiyaya kavachanam. Like that they start. Tatha avyayam. What kind of avyaya? Tha prachaya over tachabda. Tat plus tha. Then what happens to that t? So there is a sutra, tatha. They study grammar through Gita. So that is how pada, every word of the Gita is examined. Do you know this? Every word of the Gita, every word has an index, word index. Means not meaning, word. You tell me the word, I will tell you in which shloka, how many times that word, like thumb. Go to the index and put thumb, it will tell you 35 times it has come in such and such verses. Like that you find the index. Look, Gita Press index is there like that. Amazing. So very tough to make such an index. So that means even the word is examined. Then the meaning, padartha. But then the words and their meaning has a goal, that is to make a sentence, vakya. So the sentence is examined. And vakyartha, the message is examined. You see, Padashastra is there, called Vyakaranam. Arthashastra, Padapadartha, that is called Niruktam. Vakya Shastra is called Mimamsa. Vakyartha, Mimamsa of the Karma, Purva Mimamsa. They are called Vakya Shastra. But then what is the central message of the Vakya? Vakyartha, that is Uttara Mimamsa, Vedanta. Look at 4 Shastras have come that. So in this way, Nyaya, finally Nyaya, the rational approach to Gita. This is the Stoicists, if you will. They examine the scripture from the logic point of view, the rationale point of view. That is also there. In so many ways, Gita is examined and commented upon by many people. Anekai, even by the time of Shankara. So that should make Gita very clear. But still, atyanta viruddhanekaarthatvena laukikaihi grihyamanam. So all these Mahatmas have done so much to explain the meaning of the Gita, and the people of the world, laukikaihi. Loka is the world, laukika, people of the world. People of the world, they take the meaning of the Gita in multiple ways, anekartha. There cannot be multiple meanings, you know. Suppose income tax law is there. Suppose everybody takes his own meaning, then there will be no tax paid to the government. Are there multiple meanings for income tax law? For example, the red light comes, it has multiple meanings. It has only one meaning. In Hyderabad, it has multiple meanings. It can be red, it can mean red, it can mean yellow, it can mean green also. 3 meanings are there. So can it be like that? Multiple meanings is not a glory. Multiple meanings is considered in the Shastra and also in income tax law, and then civil procedure code, criminal procedure code. In all those contexts, multiple meanings is bad. One meaning should come. Same thing applies to Gita also. Gita, is it with Dvaita, Advaita, Visishta? It is all the 3. Ye kya baat hai bhai? If it is all the 3, then it is none of the 3. So this kind of pulling out multiple meanings out of the Shastra is very detrimental to the vision of the Shastra itself. So that is one great disadvantage. Anekartha. And then viruddhartha. Suppose you give multiple meanings, then one of those meanings contradicts the other meaning. Double speak ho jata. So, do karma. And then karma doesn't save you. Double speak. Paraspara viruddharthatva. So Gita is speaking in with double speak. Is it what is going on Gita? That is how all these commentaries present before us Shankara. Atyanta viruddha anekarthatvena grihyamanam. Grihyamanam means jnayamanam. That is how people understand. Who are these people? Laukikaihi, the people of the world. People of the world means ajnana people ityarthaha. That is not a nice word. Laukikai, oh, we are all laukikas. No. Laukikas means those who do not know. So many commentaries, so many messages, So much of contradiction is going on about Gita. At the time of Shankara, what to speak of now? So therefore, so Shankara says, Upalabhya. This is how I find the Gita, the way people take it. That is what I notice. Therefore, let me make a small effort to clear it off, to clear all the dross. Vivekataha artha nirdharanartham. So you have to establish the message. Artha is the message. Nirdharana, establish the message very clearly with the discrimination. Means without mixing up one thing with the other. Karma and jnanam. There must be viveka between the two. You cannot mix up the two. You cannot make a khichdi out of the two. There must be viveka. But the commentaries of the people, they lack in this viveka, in this discrimination. And therefore, double speak and multiple messages and contradictory messages are emerging out of Gita. Very well said, Shankara. So, I want to clear some of this and clear all this dust which is settled upon Gita. And so that means you will write another big commentary or what? No. Sankshepataha. I will explain very briefly. That is how he says. Very important introduction. I put this introduction before you just to alert you about one thing. Study Gita with Shankara Bhashyam. That is what you have to do. Now everybody studies Gita with some commentary or the other. No, not that way. Keep Shankara Bhashyam before you. English translation is available. Hindi Gita Press translation is available. Telugu translation is available. In a very vernacular language, the authentic translation you have to pick up, not some translation. And you don't need commentary and all that. Commentary will come later. Bhashya itself is a commentary. Rely upon that entirely. To understand Bhashya, you need some help here and there. Do take it. But your focus must be on the Bhashya, on verse and Bhashya. Then you will not make a mistake. You will not lose the track. Suppose you lose the track. What happens? You know what happens? Shankara will hold your tough hair and put you back on the track. I am telling you from experience. You make a mistake and take the next sentence, immediately you understand, I lost the track, and so he will push you onto the track. I am not exaggerating. It is exactly, that is how it happens if you follow Shankara. Therefore, it is not Gita that you have to study. You have to study Gita with the Shankara Bhashyam. That is the point that I wanted to make. Having done that, then why should we study Gita? I told you I don't have a goal post to reach, so I am very free, you know. So that is the beauty of it. And then you may wonder, why there must be some goal post on Gita Sara. No. In Gita Sara, no goal post. There also I may do one verse or I may do 10 verses, it doesn't matter. Now Shankara says, what is the purpose? Prayojanam, purpose, not phalam. Tasyascha shastrascha sankhepatah prayojanam, not phalam. You know, phala, shall I tell you phala? There is one silly book, of course written in Sanskrit, coming from some silly Purana called Gita Mahatmyam. Okay? Suppose your business is not doing well, it is not breaking even. Then you chant third chapter 5 times, your business will improve. Then suppose somebody at home is depressed, some psychological problem, you know, some kind of a depression. Then chant 11th chapter, 9th chapter 12 times, the depression will go away. Will it? Is that the way? So that is the purpose of Gita. All those things, that you will get your money, you read it for 3 times, all the evil spirits will run away. Read it 12 times, you will get lots of money. Read 20 times, you will go to Kailash. Ye kya baat hai bhai? What is going on? All of that comes under the category of phalam. That's why it is called phalashrutihi. You are all experts in all this. You know what I am saying. Phalashrutihi. So, there are people, quite often people do the first they see phalashruti. And if that is interesting, something interesting is there in phalashruti, then they go to the text and chant it. Aisa ho gaya, kya bole? Phalam is, you should not, this is the first discrimination. Phalam versus prayojanam. Don't study Gita for any phalam. Phalam is, the word phalam can be explained as the perishable outcome sought by an unhappy person. That is phalam. Phalgutaya liyate iti phalam. People, they are unhappy, they are distressed, and they are supplicating God all the time, seeking this or that. You see, they say prayer. They call it prayer. Why prayer is done? For the sake of phalam. And so, first of all, first and foremost, prayer is a petition. It is supplication to your idea of God. That is what prayer is. Therefore, in prayer, your approach is that you seek a reward. And you seek gratification. That is what you do. And what you get, reward, is called phalam. So now should I tell you what is the phalam of the Gita Shastra? No. So I'll tell about the prayer some more, but first the point is prayojanam. So Shankara puts the words very correctly. He knows the word phalam is ma phaleshu kadachana. Suppose you say, they study Gita Shastrasya idam phalam. Suppose you say, then what happens? Ma phaleshu kadachana. There double speak ho gaya na? No. There is an important distinction or discrimination between phalam versus prayojanam, and Gita Shastra has a prayojanam, no phalam. So my recommendation is, don't go for Gita Mahatmyam. Skanda Purana, Gita Mahatmyam, don't go for it. Because in that, 18 chapters have minimum 18 phalas. You don't need all that. So what is the purpose of Gita Shastra then? What is the purpose? Param Nishreyasam, the supreme freedom, liberation. That is what it is. What is supreme about it? It is supreme in the sense that it is superior to wealth, pleasures, and even the other world, heaven, etc. Heaven, paradise, whatever you call it, superior to that also. Now and here, you become free from all sorrow and fear. That is the superior. And that is called Nishreyasam, Prayojanam. Why Nishreyasam? There is nothing superior to it in the good that it will work upon you. Shreyas is good. It is your good. And there cannot be any better good. Please bear with my language. There cannot be any better good than this freedom that Gita offers to you. Freedom from sorrow and fear. Here and now. That is the prayojanam, which is nishreyasam. And also, further he says, what is this prayojanam? How does it look like? You said it does the supreme good to you. Nishreyasam is supreme good. What is this supreme good? He says, Samsarasya atyantoparamalakṣanam. The supreme good, which is in the form of total cessation of samsara, meaning the life of sorrow and fear. You see, when suppose you pray to God. So now God gives what you pray for. Okay, God gives. But what you receive from God does not bring clarity, understanding. That won't come. You are not asking for them also. You are asking for the business to flourish. Or you are asking to win a court case against one of you. You have court cases against the near and dear only. You cannot have court cases against someone in Uganda who is unknown to you. Okay. So, you want victory in the court case. You pray to God. Suppose you win the court case. Suppose you get a good lawyer, you win. So, then will it bring clarity and understanding to you in your life? No. It brings some kind of a gratification. You pray to God and God gives what you prayed for. It only brings some gratification. It doesn't bring about understanding. Because when you petition for something, you get that something only. You won't get anything other than what you petition for. So, and what is it that you are petitioning for? What you petition for is nothing but what you project from your own ignorance. Isn't it so? So, you project from your own ignorance, you project something from your own ignorance. Give me $1 million. Is it not a projection of your ignorant mind, this $1 million? And so you petition for $1 million. Suppose you get it. Will you be a happy person? Will you get clarity and understanding of life, of yourself? No, you don't get any of that. Assuming that what you get what you are petitioning for, you remain an ignorant person. And you see, and one more thing, why should God answer your particular demand? Why? You are one among the 8 billion human beings as of today. But then, not only human, in God's creation, there are birds, there are ants, there are small creatures below the earth, above the earth, and there are bacteria, etc. They too want to survive and flourish. E. coli and salmonella, they want to survive and flourish. God, so the God, what is God? The immeasurable, that is God. The immeasurable, the undescribable or the inscrutable God, that is the God. So you assume that such God is concerned with your little petty petition? Very odd, I suppose. Therefore, this petitioning is also part of the samsara. What you call a petition, that is put by the rishis in the realm of samsara. What they did, you know, artha, wealth, samsara, kama, pleasure, samsara, dharma, the ritual, in that sense, dharma, the practice of a ritual in petition of something that you desire, samsara. They put it in the samsara. Assuming that your petition is granted, you remain in ignorance. You will not gain any clarity and understanding. So this is the samsara. Means your worldly life, pleasures and wealth, and your religious life in which you go on petitioning God for different things, You may get, you may not get, that is not the point, that you petition. So that is the samsara. All of it is samsara, all of it. And Gita offers a way out of this samsara. Also Shankara says, sometimes what happens, you come out of the samsara for a short while, but then you go back into the samsara. Do they call it remission? Something like that. You get back, you are free from an illness for a while, but this illness comes back. So you get out of the samsara, you get out of the mud for a while, and then again you fall into the mud. So is that, what about this samsara? Suppose you get out of it, again you may fall back into it. No. Atyanta uparama. For example, every day night you go to sleep, your samsara has ended. That is also uparama, ending of the samsara. But next day morning you wake up, the samsara is waiting to strike at you. Not that way. Once and for all, the samsara ends. Atyanta uparama. That is the form in which this supreme good is found. That is the form of the supreme good. That is the prayojanam, the purpose that you get by the study of Gita. Study means not chanting, not reading the padapadartha, etc. Padapadartha, vakyartha, no. You internalize it, you get the message into your system. Put it simply, you understand it and get the required clarity. This is how Shankara introduces the Gita. So he introduces Gita as the one and only solution for the life of samsara. Because, to tell you the truth, life is very dull for people. Because there is always death, old age, right? And there is so much pain in people's lives. And there is always contradiction. They continuously contradict themselves. Very sad. And what to speak of conflict? So much conflict. So that struggle and conflict, they wear the person down. The apparatus, the psychophysical apparatus, it is worn out by the never-ending conflict and struggle. So sometimes a sense of utter boredom. People are bored to the bone. And then they make a lot of money, build palatial buildings to live, make a family, children, gold, jewelry, gemstones, costly cars, and so many other things they have. But there is a meaninglessness to all of that. There is a sense of unsatisfactoriness to all. Very, very funny thing it is. An example is given, a dramatic example is given. There is a billionaire. He owns billions. So he must be feeling very confident and all that. True, they are like that. The rich people have an air of superiority and confidence about them that is there. But the moment the gentleman, God forbid, gets a stomach ache, gastroenteritis, let us say, if they call it upset, stomach upset, it is not stomach upset, it is the guy upset. The whole life upset it is. You don't feel like living anymore. At that moment, Yamadharmaraja appears and wants, dear son, you want to live or want to come with me? I am coming with you. I don't want this. It happens like that. The pleasures, the wealth, the mansions that we build, the positions, the power that we wield, all of it is utterly meaningless in life. It proves like that. And then Gita, we are talking of Gita, a little more sound, yeah. That is not the sound problem, it is my problem only. So, but still, my satisfaction, yeah, now it is better. So, activity. There is activity. Gita is about activity. Gita is the science of karma. Activity. That is what Gita is. Now, you look at the activity of the people, it is self-centered activity. That is the kind of activity. Always centered around the me and mine. That kind of self-centered activity. And also then we are caught in our own thoughts endlessly. Thought and giving rise to another thought. And we are caught in those thoughts. Agony born out of these thoughts. And then superstitions. People are helpless, then somebody comes and he tries to exploit the situation by offering some false promises and endless superstitions. So, if I give examples, you may not like it. So, giving examples is also a problem. It is a minefield, right? Walking in a minefield. You give an example, somebody gets hurt. Why should he get hurt? He should look within, He should he pointed out, let me examine it. That is what this person is supposed to do. But instead of that, he gets hurt. Suppose some impurity is sitting on my head. I did not notice it. Somebody points out, dear sir, there is some junk sitting on your head. I get hurt. What is there to get hurt in that? It's a minefield, I tell you. But you have to walk through the minefield. So, variety of superstitions. And then one more thing is there. The routine of habit. Habit. People, what they say, the religion that they practice is nothing more than a mere habit. That is what it is. So they are habituated to believe. They are in a way, in a particular way. They are habituated to perform a ritual in a particular way. It is habit. And what is habit? Mechanicalness. The same dreary routine. That is what habit is. This is how people are caught. So self-centered activities of ambition, competition, seeking status, position, power, suffering from greed, envy, jealousy. This is how people live. There is only one solution out of this horrific morass, and that is study and understand Gita. All of this nonsense can end. Without leaving even a trace, it can end. Atyanta samsaro paramaha. That is the purpose of Gita. Having given some such introduction, so Sanjaya uvacha. These characters I have explained, Sanjaya is telling. So, let us do padacheda and also padapadartha, just to understand what is being said. Tam, tatha, krupaya, avishtam. You should not say krupaya avishtam, not like that. That's why I said avishtam. Ashrupurna kulekshanam. Vishidantam. All of that goes to Arjuna. Tam, that Dvitiya Ekavachanam goes to Tam Arjuna. Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudanaha. So tatha in that way. Okay, word to word meaning. Tatha in that way, correct. Krupaya, with pity. People say krupa is compassion, not compassion. Pity, self-pity if you will. Avishtam, overwhelmed. Ashrupurna kulekshanam, having the eyes filled with tears of agony. Vishidantam, psychologically depressed and physically collapsing. That is Vishidantam. Tam, that Arjuna. Now you tell me, who is Arjuna? Who is Arjuna? We are Arjuna. And this Arjuna, what he wants, what he needs, understanding and clarity, or some goodies, some rewards. What he needs? He needs understanding and clarity. That is what he needs. Not some goodies, not some rewards. That's why Sri Krishna said, Ma phaleshu kadachana. Never you put yourself in this silly seeking of results, rewards. Result is reward. Don't do that. Don't do that mistake. That will not solve any of your problems. Suppose you are fighting a legal case. You filed a petition against one of the near and dear for some property or whatever. Now you want to win that petition. And so you have to catch hold of a good lawyer, not a Sri Krishna. A good lawyer will help you. No, maybe Sri Krishna also will. Sri Krishna won't help you. He won't. He will tell you one thing. You stop this fight, this struggle, this conflict. That kind of an understanding he can give you. But he cannot make you win the case. But what people want, understanding can wait. I will come to it after retirement. Now I have to win the case. Therefore, people are in a lot of misapprehension that is there. That's why they are psychologically bankrupt, Vishidantam, and therefore physically agonized, distressed, Vishidantam. Tam Arjuna. Madhusudanaha, the slayer of the demon Madhu. Idam, this, Vakyam, sentence, Uvacha, said. So that is Arjuna, this is Sri Krishna. You should understand both. Sri Krishna is called the slayer of the demon Madhu. Now, you understand in the context of Gita, Sri Krishna has killed with a sword or with another weapon somebody who maybe he's a bad guy and came here and giving a nice lecture. Is that how you want to look at it? No, not that way, no. So, Madhusudanaha should not be construed as Sri Krishna who has just now come from somewhere. He had slain some guy, put an end to his life and walked here, and he is giving a nice lecture to Arjuna. It cannot be that way. The word Madhu always goes with another word, Kaitabha. Such words, such pairs are there. These pairs, one is always with the other. You can never find them separate. So they are always considered together. Probably there is an English word, continuum, maybe. Like space, time. Space and time. Okay? Then there are such words. Birth. You should immediately say death. You should say that, but you don't say. You are very clever. Suppose I am celebrating 80th birthday. I should invite all of you, dear sirs, please come and attend my 80th birthday and I am going to soon die. You have to say that. You have to print also there. You should die, say that. I'm not going to live even 1/10 of the life that I have lived. Very soon I am going to die. Today I am celebrating my 80th birthday. You are all welcome. How is that invitation letter? Acha. So the moment you say birth, you should remember death. Now, suppose I don't want death. Who wants to die? Nobody wants to die. I don't want death. I want to become or remain deathless. You can. You can. You seek the right thing, not some silly, useless thing. You can. When you know that you were never born. Is it? Yes. I was not born? No. How come? Study of Gita. The Gita Sara, let us say Gita Sara. The next verse, the second verse of Gita Sara is about you not having any death and birth. That is how Gita. Therefore, instead of, suppose somebody wants, I want to live another 3 years. That is all he can ask, 80 years means another 3 years I want to live. He cannot say another 80 years. It is not even possible. Another 3 years I want to live. You pray. You petition. The prayer is granted. You get, whatever you petition for, you get. Then 3 days roll on and 3 years are over in no time. And then you will be very unhappy that 3 years are over, getting over, and I will die soon. This 3 years is hanging on the head like a Damocles sword. So what you considered a reward becomes a curse. People don't even know what to petition for. And therefore, so two words, they come together, birth and death. That is how I started and went somewhere. Now I am coming back. Birth and death. Then there are 2 more coming together. Raga, I will tell one word, you have to fill the blank. Yes. You know well. So sometimes the word raga is replaced by ichha. That is Gita again. Ichha dvesha samuthena. There dvesha you have to combine with ichha, which is raga. It means ichha is desire. Desire, which is raga, you desire because of raga. You are attached, therefore you desire. It is always coupled with the hate. You hate because you are averse to it. So raga and dvesha is a pair that always comes together. There are some more such pairs. Chanda, Munda, you know. Chunni, Muni. Now the pair, Madhu, Kaitabha. That is the pair. Madhu, Kaitabha, synonym with Chanda, Munda. Chunni, Muni. Raga, Dvesha. Madhu is raga. Why Madhu is raga? Because it is sweet poison. Kaitabha is dvesha, which is bitter poison. So which poison you want, sir? Sweet poison or bitter poison? We don't want any poison. Then get rid of them. No, we cannot get rid of these poisons ourselves. Then there is the one who can get rid of these poisons on your behalf. Go and hold on to him. And his name is Shri Krishna. Madhusudanaha. He will help you to destroy this pair of demons that are haunting you since childhood. Even today. The one Shri Krishna can destroy these problems of raga and dvesha for you. That's why he is called Madhusudanaha Uvacha. We'll meet again at 11:25. Om Purnamada Purnamidam.